Okay, hey, how's it going? Rant and Chill here, your host, MrDeadman. And with us tonight is Gennet. How's it going? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fantastic. Now, I understand what grinds your gears, Gennet, is that virtual learning sucks. Is that what it is?
Well, I don't know if it necessarily sucks, but I think the kids aren't getting credit for all the things they're learning.
What? Okay. So we'll get into that. But first, who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Gennet, and I'm a paranormal romance author. I also write some scary stuff too on the side, some regular horror.
Paranormal romance author. What?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on the right show? Well, good thing this isn't Hard Talk Radio or Dead Man Stone podcast anymore, so that doesn't really matter. You know what? I like that. Paranormal romance. Hell, a lot of people like that. That's what's paying the bills now, right?
Between that and being a private teacher, yes.
A private teacher?
Mm-hmm. Like a tutor, music teacher, and pod teacher.
Oh, okay. So you're not getting that like the public school scraps. You're getting good pay.
Right.
Or decent pay.
Decent pay.
Okay, that's good. Hey, that's a better way to do it, you know. If you can, if the opportunity is there, seize it, right? All right, now
exactly.
How did you get started?
Exactly.
How did you get started with paranormal romance? You got a spooky situation with the ghosts?
Actually, it's a funny story. I started writing horror first. I was having a really awful holiday, Christmas. Everything was going absolutely south. My relationship was on the rocks. My teenagers were going crazy.
I see where this is going. So you got the Ouija board. You got the Ouija board. You summoned a ghost. Yes, and good times were had.
My story gets better.
Oh, okay.
My story gets better. So I opened the mail and I got one of those perfect letters, you know, from the perfect people about how they bought their second home in Aspen with the extra Mercedes and their children are on the honor society and going to Ivy League,
Gennet,
blah, blah, blah.
Gennet, I grew up in a trailer park, so I didn't get fancy letters. I got, I didn't get that.
I had a fancy letter and I was so down that I locked myself in my office, drank a good dose of Irish whiskey, and started writing a very satirical letter back, which turned into, with a hangover the next morning, a horror story about how Santa Claus gets bitten by Robbie, the naughty boy who is a werewolf. And by the time Santa Claus returns to the North Pole, he starts eating all of the elves.
What? Santa starts eating the elves?
And it became one of my most sought after and requested stories. Still, every Christmas, someone says, "Oh, can you put up Santa Claus, CLAWS?"
Okay, well, the big question I think here is, why do you hate Christmas so much?
I think it was just that Christmas.
That Christmas.
It was just that Christmas. It was that Christmas. It really sucked.
Because you got that letter, the perfect house, the perfect family that you never have.
Yeah, and mine was, I was getting a divorce. My teenagers were going crazy. Yeah. Yeah. So, but see, something great came out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I found a place to channel all of my...
Now, I got to ask a serious question here. I know when Twilight happened, vampires and werewolves, paranormal novels were hit. That was hot. They sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
That was when? 2008? When was that? 2009?
Probably something like that.
Okay.
Something.
Are they still selling like hotcakes?
Well, horror and romance are some of the two biggest leading sellers right now. So
Well,
writing paranormal romance seemed logical as a better way to, live off the craft.
now when you say horror, though, I mean, what kind of horror are we talking about? I mean, we're not talking about like splatterpunk, like extreme gore and guts and stuff. I mean,
Well, I rate horror Michelle Roger, and I wrote two stories. One of them is called Eternal Kingdom, about a gladiator style blood sport real life chess game
oh,
where vampires versus human beings, and
I
that's
thought
a
it'd be funny
pretty
with the YouTube celebrities, which are nonsense. Doing battle royale in a chess game.
well, there could always be a sequel.
Yeah, you get like Logan Paul or some other idiot, some other YouTube facing off.
There
Okay.
you go. Yeah.
Now, I got a question in the chat though, from Mom's Ravioli. Great guy. He's a communist. He lives in a communist country, but he's not pro-communist because he actually lives in a communist country, so he can tell you all about it. But he says, he asks, where does the romance come in? Where will start yiffing? Do you know what yiffing is?
No.
Gennet, you seem like a very nice person. Yiffing is
Break it
furry
to
for
me.
sex.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, you know what furries are?
Got it. Yes, that I do know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're adults that dress up like Tony the Tiger, and they use that as a way to meet with other Tony the Tigers to do stuff in the bedroom. I mean, that's what I got anyway. So yeah, did the werewolves start yiffing with the elves and Santa?
No. There's just a whole lot of, chasing and they eventually have to hunt Santa down. They bring in like an African hunter.
That's cool. Like an African headhunter?
Like a safari hunter.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
When he's not hunting for ivory. He's not getting that illegal hunts down. He's hunting down
Exactly.
for Santa. Now, where does the romance fit in, though? I'm curious. Does Santa have a romance scene? Are they on the mountain with a cowboy or something? 100 cowboys?
Santa Claus is not a horror romance. Horror romance didn't come. Paranormal romance didn't come in until I started writing the Clever Courtesan, things like that.
Okay, now that book caught my eye because I was looking over your work, and that's the first thing that popped out because, well, the cover is very, well, it's flesh. It's nice. It's nice, inviting.
Yeah.
So that book, and there's another one that seemed like was music inspired. Those two kind of caught my eye. You know what I'm talking about?
Which one? The
other one?
Conservatory?
I think that's the one.
Is it the one with the little?
Let's see. Let me look at the cover here. It is the one here. Inspired. Meant to be inspired.
Oh, meant to be inspired. Okay, so that's an anthology. That's a collection of stories by a group of writers that I work with out of California. And so every story in there is a story inspired by a piece of music.
Oh, okay. Like classical music, like Bach.
All genres of music.
Okay, so
You've got a story in there from country and classical and hard rock and
okay, so
a little bit of
WAP
everything
would be
in there.
Was it? Who's the one who sang WAP WAP? Wet ass pussy. Would that song be in there?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out.
You should turn that into a story. That'd be good. Now that would definitely be an erotica story there. Probably so.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Unless the water's there.
A lot of my erotic. a lot of my erotica ends up in Japan somehow.
Well, that makes sense. Japan. I was talking about that earlier with the panty stream. Yes, I was talking about panty sniffers. I was talking about how Japan is like the last bastion for it's like pervert haven over there. It really is. I mean, I'm not dunking on them. It's just they have no shame. Like when it comes to perversions, they really have no shame.
Well,
How you feel
that's
about
all
that?
right.
Yep. All right.
I don't mind that.
All right. Okay, and then tell us about the clever courtesan. Tell us about that real fast.
That almost all of my stories, the female lead is she's the heroine. My characters don't need to be saved. They usually save themselves or something like that. Anyway, so the clever courtesan chooses to be a courtesan, and it's how she seduces a string of very interesting lovers.
Oh, like how interesting? Like certain traits, like assholes, or someone with the wish?
No, let's see. No. I mean, she's in it for the money, so she seduces a pirate and a duke, and.
Okay, so she meets. So she seduces princes, kings, maybe even queens and stuff like that.
Yeah. Plus, she's got to have some fun, so you got to have a pirate in there occasionally.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, be careful with the pirates, though. They probably carry disease. I would imagine that they're the ones that are most likely. Pirates are kings, because kings. I mean, but kings are plowing.
Well, pirates are kind of a genre of a point of interest for many ladies. So I had to write about the pirates.
Why is that? Well, why are ladies why do they fancy pirates?
I don't know. They're like the original bad boy.
Original bad boy. But you know how bad they must smell? Like, I don't think they bathe much, do they?
Well, I can't say I've known too many pirates, but that's my job as the writer is to, make them attractive.
I imagine they'd be kind of greasy, kind of dirty, drunk, lots of rum, lots of booze. But I guess a lot of people were dirty back then, so I guess it doesn't matter. It's like whatever, they just kind of gotta go with it, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine it was a whole lot of hygiene going on.
Right, especially on a boat. All right, now that's who you are and what you do, and people definitely check out her work. Let me go ahead and get Mom's Right Really says, so it's no different than Deadman, I guess. That's right. I don't bathe except for like once a month. No. You can smell me from here, can't you?
The cigar, particularly, yeah.
Oh, okay. The cigar is masking my BO. That's what she's saying. All right. So let's get into the rant here. Let's get into what you have to get off your chest here, the grievance. So what is it?
Well, I'm tired of... Give the kids a break. Give them a break.
Aren't they getting a break?
No, they're not. They're being told left and right that they're going to be behind and they're not doing as well and they're not learning anything. And I'll tell you, from my experience, they're learning a whole lot. We might not be testing them on it, but they're doing great.
Now, hold on here. I've seen my brother-in-law. I know what he's doing. He's on those Zoom things, and then he's on Zoom, and then at the same time, he's playing Destiny.
Well, he learned how to get to a Zoom meeting, right? I mean, how many kids knew how to do that before the pandemic?
Well, he should know how. He is 16.
Well, sure. There's always room for slacking off. We were slacking off in school too, so right.
Yeah, I gotta be fair about that
Yeah.
because I am definitely the product of Bush's, what was it, No Child Left Behind thing. You see, I didn't pass algebra or geometry with good grades. No, I just kept on failing and failing over and over again until they're just like, okay, we're just gonna pass them. In fact, I was in like I think algebra 2 or geometry 2, and they're like, the teacher was like looking at my I guess my chart. She's like, "How are you even here?" I was like, "What do you mean? You failed algebra 1." I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm just going where the school tells me to go. I was there for like a whole like I think 5 months, and they're like, "Nope, you need to go back to basic math."
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I'm
That is
sorry.
public school. That is public school right there. And I'm not the only one. There's people
Wow.
who don't even know how to read and they pass English.
Well, I don't know about that. I've got some second graders who are, reading Harry Potter and reading it to their friends at lunch on Zoom. They're
Oh,
just,
good
yeah,
for them.
they're just, yeah, they're clipping along. I got some older ones who, I'm like, hey, aren't you supposed to be in school for like another half an hour? Oh, well, we got out early. Okay, so I check. Oh, you did get out early. Okay, what homework do you have? Oh, well, I decided to do it at lunch. Oh,
Oh, so they're optimizing their
okay.
time. They're actually using their time.
They're like, well, I was just sitting there anyway, so I might as well just do it. I thought, wow, okay.
Yeah, they're bored at the
Uh,
house. They have
yeah.
plenty of time to slack off and do whatever else they want, like Minecraft, Roblox, or whatever else they want to do. So,
Well,
well, I
there's
guess.
always going to be some. There's always going to be some of that, right?
Mhm.
But for example, you got parents who are home too. So I've got some parents, moms and dads, and older brothers and siblings and things like that who have come in and shown some of the kids how to change the oil in their cars,
Oh,
how to
that's
check
cool.
the tire pressure. I mean, they're learning a lot of things that they probably
Hey,
wouldn't
that
have
right
learned
there.
if we weren't all
Wait, wait, wait,
together.
wait, wait, wait. Kids are actually being taught how to change a tire. I had to actually change a tire, even check the air pressure. Just that alone, checking the air pressure, that's something that a lot of kids these days don't even know. In fact, hey, I guarantee you, there's teenagers in high school that have no idea how to check the air pressure in their car, even change the tire. It's like, come on now, come on. So you're saying, you know what? Virtual learning's not so bad.
Yeah.
The kids are learning skills. The kids are learning skills. So lay off them.
Some practical life skills.
Practical life skills. Now, of course, there's slackers. Hell, I was a slacker
Sure.
in public school,
No.
right? I was the kid who would bring the Game Boy to class and play it, try to be all sneaky about it. I always get caught. And when I don't get caught, I'm like, yes, outsmart the teacher. And she's like, I've been watching you this whole time. What game are you playing? It's like, damn it. So, okay. I was that kid, slacking. Like, if I had it now, if I was a kid now, it had the same situation and that didn't change, oh, man. I'll tell you what I'd be doing. I'll be playing Mega Man 2 and Kirby and Mario, what are Contra, not doing my work. My grades would come in. My parents would find out that grades are horrible, and so they'll ground me from all the video games. But then my parents will go to work, and then I'll be like trying to be clever and find out where they hid it all, where they hid the NES and all that. I'd find it, circumvent, boom. That was my education. That would be my education. So I guess I would still learn the skills how to circumvent.
You're still learning some skills. Plus, maybe they would need to get you a pod teacher.
Okay,
Someone to make sure you got to class.
wait, what is a pod teacher?
So there's this new thing that the pandemic invented in education called a pod. A pod means so I'm the teacher. I sign a contract that says I won't do anything that will encourage me catching COVID. And I will
Okay.
take my temperature before I come to your home. And they will do the same. and they go off to work, and I make sure your kids get to all their Zoom meetings and do their homework.
Wow. Okay.
And teach them how to cook things at lunchtime.
Wait. So you're in the home though with them?
Yeah. Well, because they're learning online.
Yeah. So
there's a whole lot of ways to do it. Like there's parents who swap, that kind of thing. You don't have to hire a teacher to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one way where virtual learning can actually work, because you have someone still in the home to make sure that people are. You have someone around the kid making sure that they're actually doing the work.
Yeah.
Not just.
You got a whole across the country. Like it's a whole section of Facebook. How to find your pod.
I had no idea. This is new to me. Wow. Interesting. So I guess it isn't all just failing and doom and gloom for the kids,
No, and you get to hang out with the kids in your pod.
Are there more? Okay. How long have you been a teacher for?
Since 99.
Since 99. Okay. So in your experience, are more kids failing now or struggling now in school?
I don't think there's more. Mm-mm.
Okay. Not more. Is there a different sort of struggle? Like, is there like any difficulties as far as tech and access to equipment or whatever?
In the beginning, there was. When we first everything first shut down and everyone went online like the same week, the internet would just crash like every 7 to 8 minutes, and you had to bring it back up. So infrastructure wise, it was super frustrating, and lots of kids went, awesome, I don't have to do anything. See you later. Mm-hmm. But eventually. That'd
be me.
Okay, well, eventually.
Let's go ahead. Sorry.
No, eventually everything got straightened out. Now it's just sort of, it's what you do.
It's what you do. Okay. Yeah, I mean, because on the surface level, when people say virtual learning, they say the kids aren't even going to school. The sort of thought on that, like I said, surface level is that, yeah, this is going to be failing the kids. The kids aren't actually going to school. They're not getting the interaction with the teacher. They're going to be left behind. Granted, keep in mind, like I said before, hell, I was one of the kids that was left behind, and I was actually in school, But granted, whose fault was that, right? I look back at it now, I'm like, come on now. I was more busy. I spent my time trying to sneak porn into school to sell it, okay? I was a bad
entrepreneur.
Kid. Yes.
Entrepreneur.
But here's the thing, though. Kind of slow. See, I was prescribed Ritalin for ADD. Not ADHD, but ADD. I had no idea what I had. I had no idea the treasure trove that I had, because I was more... I pretty much convinced my mom to get me off that stuff because it made me shaky. Because it made me shaky and weird when I was on. I was like, what? Had I known, man, I could have been rolling in profit. It would have been illegal, but rolling in profit.
Yeah, now they really watch that kind of thing.
Yeah. Guys, the reason I'm telling you this story is this is the product of public school. This was happening in public school while going to school. Well, maybe this stuff still happens in virtual learning. Sure, maybe you still have the kids that slack off, the teenager that's, selling his mom's pills or whatever, his own pills. There's really not a whole lot of difference. You're going to have the slackers. You're going to have the people who fail because they're into bullshit.
What's funny is I teach since teaching online. A lot of the kids who are diagnosed with ADD say that they're better with the screen, learning virtually.
Oh, I get that. Oh, you know what? I probably would have said that. I probably would have liked that, actually learning on the screen stuff. Because see, if I was able to go to class and listen to the teacher, and then, sure, have access to other things I want to do at the same time. Maybe if I could just learn to micromanage my time, I could see that. So All right, I get you on that. So it's working. Like some kids are saying, I actually enjoy this. Like this is actually working better for me using the screens.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 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 I actually, it was like totally an experiment. I started teaching online a couple of years ago, and to help out a couple of kids, and they did better. It was amazing.
Okay. Now to remind everyone that's listening, you as a pod teacher, you are there physically in the student's home, right?
Right. I do both. I teach in a pod and I teach online. But
Okay.
when I teach a pod, I'm in the parent's home.
Okay. And there's other students in the parent's home too, or is it just the one student?
No, there's like a group
Okay.
of different age kids. Yep.
Now, how does the parent volunteer their home for that?
Well,
That seems interesting.
So I'm there just certain days out of the week, but there's other parents who trade off.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they come in. So the parents all take turns so that the kids are never totally alone.
Well, that's good. You don't want to leave them neglected to their own devices. But, all right, so you're there physically. So the reason I want to stress that is because another thing that people are concerned about, sure, maybe the grades are going up because two things. Maybe the work is getting lighter, the workload's lighter, and also maybe they're cheating. What about that? What about that?
Cheating how? Cheating how?
Googling. I don't know.
Well, you can Google at school too.
You can?
You got a phone.
Oh, yeah, now you can. Damn it. Man.
You got a phone.
I could have actually passed algebra.
You would have already cheated at school.
Man, I could have actually passed Spanish. I could have said as uno más veces por favor.
There you go.
I did enjoy my Spanish teacher though. She was hot. Probably TMI. But then they trade her out for a dude. But he was into Judas Priest though, so it was also pretty cool.
Oh well, see, there you go.
So kids could cheat at school now because of iPhones, smartphones, whatever. But couldn't they get caught, though? Couldn't they be caught easier in the school versus at home?
I don't know. I mean, there's like, they're not in their rooms doing Zoom. Like, they're sitting at the kitchen table.
Now, I'm curious. So, like, if they were to take a test... Is the test online? I mean, do they take it on paper and submit it? Is it like who's watching them when they take the test? Like especially the state tests that are like really important for funding and all that. Who's watching them take those tests?
Here where I live, they actually had to, social distance them, and they had to take those at school.
Yeah, I thought so. Those ones you got to take at school. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really important. I remember so much of that because a lot of the classes were going to get you geared up for those tests because they want. What are those tests called now?
Well, I
think
mean,
it's based on state,
so here it's like the MEEP.
MEEP there? Okay. In Texas, it was something else. Obviously, it started with a T. I thought it was like this. Oh my God, I cannot remember. Maybe Mom's Ravioli could find out what the Texas State test was. And he's in some European country.
Now, a lot of the colleges and universities are going to waive the ACT and the SAT for kids coming in next year because they won't be able to get everyone in to take it. So the college tests, a lot of the colleges are waiving it.
Man, well, that's good, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. College versus trade school is another rant that I may get into one day. But sure, yeah, that's going to be so interesting. So they're just going to waive the SAT It'd be like, oh, okay, you can just come on in, but take the student loans.
Well, I think your grades have to be good enough to get, but yeah, they're going to waive some of those standardized tests.
Okay. Man. All right. So, I mean, it doesn't sound, with the virtual learning versus going to actual public school, it is obviously there's a big difference in that you're at your home and you're going through a screen, and it's kind of, you have that technology, that filter, but there's still someone there, kind of, sort of. The work is still being turned in.
Hopefully. I mean, yeah, I would imagine. If
Now,
you have someone hovering over you.
Do you run into kids that are just that make stuff up or make excuses for turning it in late? Like, I know that happened before COVID, before the lockdown stuff, but has it been happening more?
Not from any of my students. I mean, which is kind of sad because as a teacher, you always look forward to the really creative excuses. I look forward to those.
What's the most creative?
Oh, goodness. Let's think. There was a whole story about, it getting lost in transit on the bus. And then it got bus drivers involved. And then it turned out it got blamed on a bully. I mean, it can get really involved. It's going to be really great.
Wow, got
I
lost.
tend to like those creative kids.
All right. So they would create this whole story, this whole narrative of how they lost their homework. They're on transit on a bus. The bus took the wrong route. There was a homeless man there. It was like, kid, I want your backpack. And he gave up the backpack, whatever, but, like something like that.
Yeah. The bully ripped his backpack apart, and all the papers went flying, and his homework went out the window.
Now, as he told you
while
this,
the bus was driving.
As he told you the story, did he have the backpack on him?
No.
That would have been funny.
No backpack. I mean, he was fairly clever.
It has to be funny.
That's what I like about them.
It has to
be
funny
when clever about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're clever, but still, even the clever ones, I mean, I'm sure they at times make a little slip and forget that they have the backpack on them, or forget that they claim they got into or something happened. They got into a altercation or something, but they don't seem any injured or harmed or anything. And
no, he didn't. It seemed like the backpack took the brunt of the bully's anger.
Okay.
He seemed completely unscathed from the whole confrontation.
Now, what about, let's get a little dark here. We're going to the dark area. Ready?
Okay.
All right. With now that the kids are at home more, even though it's virtual learning and all that, has there been an increase in abuse, child abuse? Have you seen anything?
No, I think probably the worst part of it, because I live on just outside of Detroit, is there's schools in my area provide a lot of meals for poor kids.
Okay, that's good.
But again, on the positive, a lot of communities around here have gotten together and said, hey, if you need a meal, a bunch of the schools are still providing them. You just do curbside, like drive-through, carry out. And you get all of your lunches and your breakfast for a week.
Okay.
Picked up. And then there's a lot of private citizens. There's one lady in the town next to me who she turned her front porch into a pantry. You just come and take what you need.
And are people generous with that, or do they take advantage of it? I mean,
so far it's been more, people donating than taking, but there have, it seems to have been met with a lot of positive and gratitude.
Have they? I mean, that area seems kind of rough. I mean, have they done things to kind of increase the security for the kids? I mean, it just sounds like it could be a little rough. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Detroit's really improved has gotten much safer in the last 10 years.
What about this year?
When I first, I mean, 10 years ago, you couldn't walk. You know, you wouldn't go do a pub crawl or anything like that. Now that's the place is packed with great places to eat and bars and things like that. Of course, not now with COVID, but so it's become much safer. I mean, sure, it's Detroit. There's still a lot of crime here. I will give you that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you hear. I mean, those are usually the sort of jokes about Detroit. I mean, they're not so funny if you live in them, live in Detroit. Okay. I mean, but what about this year? I mean, has there been an increase with all, the craziness with the whole police, the fun police, all that stuff with the riots? Has there been any increase?
Actually, Detroit did really well. Detroit and Flint had some of the biggest
Flint,
Black Lives Matter marches and things like that, and we had some of the most peaceful protests in the country.
Okay, well, definitely compared to Portland.
In Flint, the chief of police actually walked with the rioters and said, "Let's do this together."
Oh yeah, I saw that video. Does Flint still have lead in their water? I mean,
I'm sorry. I lost you for a second.
Does Flint still have lead in their water?
There are some places that still do. The lawsuits are still going on.
They need to fix that. Like, come on now. It's been man, that's been like 8 years. Like, what, longer than that? 12 years? 60? How long has it been? Wasn't Obama was president during that time, right? Wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been at least 6 years. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. They've done things to try to replace pipes in most of the homes, but there are still a lot of places that there still is lead pipes and lead in the water.
Oh,
still a very high rate of Legionnaire's disease there.
Now, there's some people, people in the chat are kind of like down that Detroit is safer now. It's just okay. Because, you hear it on the news, it's like, okay, they always paint it like in a bad picture, painting like it's doom and gloom over there. I mean, Detroit was the place of RoboCop, right?
Yeah.
Though I think RoboCop 2 was actually filmed in Houston, though. That's interesting.
How's that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Where I live, so. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's gotten a lot better. It really has. Once we get past this hurdle, I really hope that it really people come out and visit, because it's gotten so much better.
Now, is it certain areas of Detroit, or are you speaking like all of Detroit?
Well, so if you start in like the center of Detroit, which is basically like Campus Marshes, and work your way out, like every year it got a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. It fanned its way out. So there are still some patches here and there. You're still going to see a great house, and then a house that's half burned down, and a great house and you're still going to see that, but it is much improved.
Okay. But the reason we got into this is because of making sure the kids are secure. So the kids seem like they're kind of safe, I suppose. I mean, they're in their neighborhoods. I mean, if their neighborhood is not a safe neighborhood, then
yeah, I mean, it hasn't changed because of virtual learning.
Now,
it is what it is.
The other thing is, being that they're home more and the parents are there, maybe some cabin fever may get in there. Maybe people get to kind of antsy and stuff happens, and have you seen more like fightings in the home, like domestic violence situations? More.
I haven't seen that. Now I know that they say that addiction recovery is taking a big hit because of all of this.
Hit the bottle, take the pills, right?
They're saying that's really. I haven't experienced it in any of my students or anything like that, but I have been told that.
Also, I mean, during the lockdowns, I mean, what alcohol stores were open, You can go get a bottle of whiskey, get some rum, get some wine, box wine even if that's your thing. But recovery centers were not open. Was that true for y'all?
That's true. Yeah. All like AA and things like that. That all those meetings went online.
Okay. And you got to make sure you follow it online. That's be tough.
Yeah, I think that probably shut out a lot of people.
Yeah, that's one of those things where like the group is really important because you could kind of hold each other accountable, kind of like right there and see. I mean, if you just see someone on the screen, you don't see what they have in their hand, right? Unless like during the meeting they have to put their hands up like this, you know. I don't know. It just seems so. I mean, someone could be drinking while on a Zoom call for AA.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's true. I never thought of that.
Yeah. They could have they could be drinking right there during the meeting. They could have a styrofoam cup. And they'll be like, what's in that glass? What's in that cup? Oh, just Coca-Cola.
Well, I suppose this could happen. You got me there.
No Captain Morgan says, no, selling the high seas. Just Coca-Cola. Smoking meth on a Zoom call. So the guys are, no. I guess technically that could happen. That could.
Well, okay. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Now, okay. So the other concern about, I guess, the virtual learning is that, okay, we're getting kind of, like I said, the dark area with abuse and domestic violence and all that. What about the kids getting involved in drugs and that stuff?
Well, I mean, it depends on if their parents have gone back to work. Here in Detroit, I mean, if you even remotely worked for the major three, which most of us do in some way or another, you're home. So there's a lot more parental supervision going on right now.
So no one's working in Detroit right now?
No. I mean, there's a few of the factories that have started to open back up, but it's very limited.
Oh, wow.
None of the engineers are there. They're all working remotely.
Wow. See, I'm in Houston, Texas, and that's a totally different shift. So wait, that's a whole other conversation about like what, because if people aren't working, how are they making money? I guess but that's $600 isn't gonna help them.
No, most of like the engineers and things like that. If you can work from home, you are ordered to work from home here.
Okay.
So, if you can write code or do whatever for the robotics or whatever, run simulations, whatever, you do it from home. Can't do it.
Okay.
From the plant. Yeah. So, I mean, you've got a huge section of the workforce they're home.
Okay. So with the parents home, the kids are less likely to get into pot or other drugs, other stuff.
And we have the lowest in Detroit. We have the lowest burglary rate we've ever had. Wait. Everyone's home.
Wait. What area of Detroit? All of it?
Well, I mean, the whole state has seen the biggest drop in burglaries ever because everyone's home.
Okay.
Home invasions are pretty much non-existent right now.
Okay, well that's good. I mean, I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Now, people are getting their cars broken into or having packages stolen off their porches.
Okay. Let's see. Because I mean, you hear things on the news like crime going up, burglary going up. So if home invasions are going down, like is there anything that's going up right now with what's going on?
Well, I mean, people are getting more sick. I don't know. I don't know what crime's going on. I don't know what's going up. Not sure.
Well, I'm just curious because I don't know. It's like you see headlines like Detroit leads nation of violent crime per new FBI report. I mean that's violent crime. But you say for your experience, it's going down.
Yeah, well, home invasions are going down. I know that. At least that was what the local paper said. What, last couple of weeks?
Oh, okay. Well, that's what the paper's saying. Yeah. I'm just curious about that. It's crazy because it's like now it's like we get two different information. It's always like, oh, Detroit's going up in crime. Detroit's, this. But I mean, if your paper's saying that everything's fine, I guess everything's fine. But maybe we're being fed the wrong information.
It's doing better. A lot of things are a lot better here. So I don't know.
Okay, but now, so the parents are home war. So the kids could get hands on. I mean, so also the kids are learning skills from their parents. That's good. So I mean, let me just open it this way. I mean, with virtual learning versus traditional going to school learning. Can you think of any con? Can you think of anything that really is really lacking in virtual learning?
Yeah, I mean, sure, there's still some things that are lacking. Like, I teach music. It's hard to teach someone to play an instrument in the very beginning. It's much easier to do it in person.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So sure. So that's, I have a lot of kids who, have held off on learning to play their new guitar they got for Christmas, that kind of thing, until they can take lessons in person, like that kind of thing. Sure.
So like guitar, also maybe what else? Math you could kind of do remotely if they're paying attention.
Yeah. Art is tough.
Yeah.
Art's tough.
Yeah, I could imagine art being kind of tough. Because you could watch someone do it. You could pretty much watch some Bob Ross videos and try to pull that off. That's what my grandma used to do, right? She'd always get her oil paints ready for some Bob Ross. And she'd be like, it never comes out the way he does it. Yeah, I mean, he's experienced. He knows what to do. Granted, he also paints the painting beforehand, so he knows how to do it, and then he just does it there, So, I mean, interesting. What else? Maybe carpentry too. Like the wood shop classes.
All the vocational tech. Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that's probably. Although there's, I think like the auto engine repair, things like that, small engine repair. I think that we've got a couple of the kids who said that they found a way to do that pretty awesome. So they can at least watch how it's done.
Okay. That's helpful. That is helpful there. What about physical education?
Yeah, I think that would be pretty tough too. I've heard some friends who the physical education requirements are still pretty tough in California. And so they had to do a lot of things to help their kids pass phys ed.
Like, can't they do it like Camp Gladiator? I don't know if they have that over there, but couldn't they just do like a Zoom thing or whatever with that and just make them, get a mat and do a bunch of push-ups and running, and squats and stuff like that?
That's exactly what they had to do.
That's Camp Gladiator right there. Yeah. Just do that. We'll work on that. Now, as far as when it comes to playing the sports, though, I don't know. In your area, it sounds like it's pretty locked down. I mean, are the kids even competing? Are they even playing football or anything?
No, sports right now are banned because they had too many kids who came down with COVID, high school especially.
Okay.
College can play, I think. Pretty sure college can play, but high school, um, you know, all football, basketball, all that's on hold.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like two different worlds, and it's the same. You're way up there. I'm way down here. You know, our kids are playing. They are playing.
Oh, are they?
I mean, they're trying to be, safe about it. But as much as they can. I mean, okay. Well,
Hopefully our numbers will be down enough where they can go back to it in the next couple of weeks. But so far,
I mean, how long have they been restricted?
I think they were able to play until maybe Halloween.
Okay.
So since November.
Well, maybe with the vaccine, everyone will be set. Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
That'd be good. Well, so it sounds like from your experience as being a pod teacher that really virtual learning is not. It doesn't really have any sort of deficit
It's not so
to
bad.
it. It's not really that bad. I was thinking of the word, but I'm sorry. I'm a product of public education. I couldn't just think of the word.
No, I think it's not ideal for everyone, but it's not as bad as they're making it out to be.
Okay.
I think everyone needs to just, I've heard actually a lot of people who are like, I really enjoyed spending a lot of time with the family. It's not so bad. It's actually been pretty good.
I can see that. Sometimes there's a family member that's like gets a little annoying, in my space.
That's true.
Yeah. Especially when a particular one hits the bottle a lot, takes the pills. I'm just joking. I'm joking. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, well, I guess it sounds like in your case and from your experience, the kids are doing fine. Lay off them. And you know what? The ones that fell, they're probably going to fail anyway because they're someone like me who's just going to find a way to be distracted with everything. Hell, I found my dad's porn stash when I was in sixth grade. Was playing video games. I didn't do any homework. I came home. I'm not going to do homework. Try to play Contra. Mario. Oh, when Quake came out.
Well, you still have a good podcast, right? So you.
Well, yeah, there's that. I mean, I'll sit on my ass and talk about stuff. And smoke and drink. Yeah. It's a dream come true. If this could actually pay the bills, that'd be great. Shit. Damn. I'll take a sponsorship from a Lone Star if that'll help. Lone Star beer. All right. Well, so Gennet, now let's go back to your work real fast before we wrap up. I'll remind people again, what do you do and where can they find your work?
So I'm a paranormal romance writer and a horror author, and you can find all of my work on easy enough. Find it on Amazon.
All right. So if you're into that, feel free to check out her work. And, Gennet, thank you so much for coming on Rant and Chill. I hope you found it to be a good experience to get that off your chest. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far, press the like button, share, and subscribe. You guys.